Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we're going to take a break from the usual because I need to address some things. There's been a growing amount of people that have posted some interesting comments on my channel, and I want to address some of those comments to the best of my ability. Now, I will be the first to tell you that I try to steer clear of politics. I don't care about politics because there's nothing I can do about them, and the world is what it is. There's a lot of crap that goes on. I can't control it, so I don't bring it to my channel. It ends up polarizing everybody. People get angry on whatever side that they're on, and it just makes everything worse. So, with that in mind, I do need to bring up the fact that a lot of people have been calling for me to stop playing Wargaming products, me to stop supporting a Russian company, me to stop funding the Russian military with my money going to Wargaming. And so I need to call out some things. First of all, Wargaming is no longer a Russian company. Sure, it started in Russia, but it is a global company. What do I mean by this? I mean, they have offices all over the world. Their headquarters is actually in Cyprus. So it's not, this is ridiculous that people are trying to say this stuff. Now, first of all, I am not a Wargaming fanboy. Let's be clear. Everyone knows I have been plenty critical of Wargaming over the years. However, I also have common sense. And so I can distinguish between a company that is part of a country over a whole, or has history with a country over a whole, and the government of that country and what they do. Okay? So, you've got to separate those things. Okay? One doesn't necessarily lead to the other. Okay? Now, one of the things that I will find interesting is that recently, Wargaming.net, this is their Facebook page. This is what you guys are looking at right now. As you guys can see, there's nothing to hide here. This is literally facebook.com/wargaming.net. You can come over and look it up yourself. There is whatever you need to find here. However, Wargaming has been keeping pretty quiet on the whole situation of what's going on. Now, those of you who don't know, if you pull up Wikipedia and look up wargaming.net, you can see that their headquarters is indeed in Nicosia, Cyprus. I hope I said that correctly. If I said it wrong, I do apologize to those folks out there in that area. But, you know, I'm not the best at pronunciation, so I do apologize. It's not out of spite. It's just the way it is. I'm an idiot. Let's put it that way. But these guys have multiple locations all over the world. Now, I don't know how up-to-date this is. I know some of their locations have closed here and there. The West Coast in the U.S. I know closed a few years ago with World of Tanks console, moving everything to Chicago. I'm pretty sure that Wargaming also has a place in Texas, and I'm sure that they've got multiple branches all over the world. But recently, one of their employees was terminated for his stance on the situation in Russia and Ukraine currently. Now, if you guys didn't know, Wargaming has a branch office in Kiev. Or Kyiv. I think it's... I could be pronouncing it wrong, but either way, in Ukraine. Okay, that's the thing to take away from this. They have an office in Ukraine where a lot of the fighting is going on, and there are over 550 employees and their families in Ukraine. Okay, and so we have a comment here on one of their most recent posts. Again, they're not technically talking about their most recent post, or they're not talking about the war or anything like that, but these comments are coming in. So I would hope that Wargaming makes an official statement. I haven't been able to find an official statement. This is the closest I've been able to find, and that is a question by Vaclav Med. How are people doing in the Kiev branch? Any information? Wargaming responds with, "Thank you for your comment. Wargaming works hard to provide aid to 550 plus employees and their families in Ukraine." Okay, and then we have this comment. I can't even think about how to pronounce that. Your top manager, Sergei Burkatovsky, supports Russia's terrorist invasion to Ukraine. You do not react to it, and therefore you also support terrorism. Everyone who buys the company's game supports terrorism and may have problems with law of their country. Okay, so again, these are the kind of comments that have been coming in on my YouTube channel as well. These are really polarizing comments that just do not do anybody any good. You only see one part of the story. You don't look at everything as a whole. You look at it as it is a definite this or you're that. You know what I'm saying? And that's just not the way it is. Wargaming responds with, Sergey is no longer Wargaming employee. His personal opinion does not reflect the company's position in any way. Wargaming works hard to provide aid to 550 plus employees and their families in Ukraine. Okay? We're going to go ahead and read the next comment here by Solvi as well. Remember, it's not the Russian people you should blame, it's their government, and I don't think Wargaming is part of the Russian government. And the best thing they can do is to do nothing. And so that brings us back to, what I want to say. And that is that Wargaming is a global company. They have Wargaming in, here's actually kind of a list here. We've got Sydney, St. Petersburg, Kiev, Paris, Chicago, Baltimore. We have Minsk. We have Berlin, Copenhagen, Moscow, and Guildford in the UK. So you can see that they have places all over the world. It's not just in Russia. It's not just a Russian company. And to go out on a limb and say that supporting Wargaming as a game developer is supporting directly Russia, I think is a stretch, if not just an outright freaking bullcrap lie. So, with that being said, I do not intend to stop playing Wargaming products. It's how I make my livelihood. If you feel the need to unsubscribe from me because I am playing Wargaming products, if you feel the need to, if that's what you feel helps your situation, then by all means, see yourself out. Do I hate to see you go? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, I stay out of the politics of the world stage. Like there's a lot of lies on all sides, and if you can't see that from a reasonable mindset, then you're already pretty much screwed. A lot of people fall into the not being able to think for themselves. They listen to whatever news source that they watch and don't realize that that news source has a motive and that they can't discern one way or the other. And that's where I don't get involved. Like I have the ability to find my own information. I have the ability to come to a reasonable conclusion based on the evidence that I myself have seen. And personally, I don't feel like supporting Wargaming is directly supporting Putin's actions in Ukraine. It just doesn't, they don't coincide. So, again, I don't like to make these sorts of videos, but I also want to go further, and you guys know the controversies here, and even the one that we just mentioned is the latest controversy, which is creative director of Wargaming, Sergey Burkatovsky, resigned from the company. I guess he wasn't terminated, he resigned from the company. He was probably forced to resign, if I had to guess, because he made the post on his Facebook, and then it was removed. But Wargaming made the statement, Sergey is an employee of the company, and expressed his personal opinion, which categorically does not coincide with the position of the company. All our staff are now focused on helping our over 550 colleagues in Kiev and their families. Sergey's opinion is in complete contradiction with the company's position. He is no longer an employee of Wargaming. So, again, they've made their statement, they've made their move. They do not support the war or the act of war, whatever you want to call it, with Russia going into Ukraine. And the fact that they come out and say this with a position still in Ukraine or still in Russia, and Belarus, is probably going to end badly for Wargaming in Russia and Belarus, if I had to guess, because everything that we know about them, again, coming from a outside perspective that has no real insight into the inside workings of how everything goes down, Like, they have a lot of control over their country, so I don't see that these statements from a multi-billion-dollar company is going to go over too well with the Russian government, and I don't know what their fallout is going to be from that. But Wargaming made these statements knowing full well that there could be blowback on them from the Russian government and Belarus. So, again, you got to look at it from a standpoint that Wargaming is no longer just a Russian company. They haven't been for a very long time. They have multiple studios all over the world, and they do a lot of good outside of, what we know as well. Let's see if I can find some of the stuff that they get into. They've got activism here, like helping to restore the sole surviving Maus super heavy tank together with Russian Kubinka Tank Museum. They also have helped with the recovery of the world's last remaining Dornier Do-17, which is apparently a plane. Okay, at the Royal Air Force Museum in Cosford, United Kingdom. The Wargaming Education Center at the Tank Museum in Bovington, UK. Annual Memorial Day events in North America, donating revenue from select in-app purchases to charities including AMVETS, Homes for Our Troops, and Military Family Funds. Ongoing sponsorship of USS Iowa, docked in the port of Los Angeles in California. Fundraising for restoration projects at Tank Museum in Bovington, UK. Proceeds from special premium shop packages are donated to the museum and used to restore the museum's current fleet of operational vehicles and to buy the highly specialized tools required to service them. 25-hour streaming marathon at Wargaming West to raise money for children's hospitals and other children's charities. And this is something that they do a lot of. Like, we could keep going through the thing. We got the Grace After Fire charity stream in North America, assisting women veterans transitioning from military service, providing resources and a space to connect, renew, and heal. Restored one of 4 remaining AC-1 Sentinel tanks, now located in the Australian Armour Military Museum in Cairns. On November 1st, 2017, the World Warships team organized a fundraiser to support USS Texas that was in severe financial need after the floods caused by Hurricane Harvey. Special bundles with USS Texas battleship were offered to players on NA, EU, and SEA servers, and all proceeds from this sale were donated to Battleship Texas Foundation. On top of this, USS Texas battleship was offered as a free referral prize for the newcomers invited by veteran players. World Warships donated $25 to Battleship Texas Foundation for each qualifying referral during the charitable campaign on top of the proceeds from the bundle sales. As of December 1st, 2019, over $280,000 was raised by World of Warships community for battleship preservation efforts. On November 16, 2019, Wargaming partnered with Muskogee War Memorial Park in Oklahoma to raise money to save the USS Batfish SS-310 submarine, with the goal of helping the museum reach $150,000 to cover the necessary repairs. To raise money, a charity stream went live on Twitch. Unique patches were made available for purchase in the game, with all proceeds from sales going directly to USS Batfish preservation efforts. The initiative helped raise $45,000. On 14th of December 2019, Wargaming announced a Save the Children 24-hour charity stream aiming to raise $25,000 before the clock ran out. So again, you have to be able to separate what world governments do from the people in the government. That's why I read that last comment, because this is the most sane comment that I've read in quite a while on the internet. Just you can't blame the people for what the government do. And that goes for any country in the world. There's a lot of crap that goes on all around the world. You've got to be able to separate what the people in that country are just you and me. Like, nobody in any other country is any different from you and I. All right? We're all out here trying to get by, do the best that we can to be the best that we can. The governments, they act independently from their people, regardless of their stand on what type of government it is or whatever. Every government around the world has its downsides, and we've seen a lot of that over the past 2 years with the pandemic and all of the stuff going on, and now the conflicts breaking out. Like, you have to be able to separate it. If you cannot do that, then you probably should stop watching the news, because you're just going to be miserable. All right? So, again, I don't like making videos like this, but as it has been something that has been a recurring thing popping up over the past few days on my channel, I did want to address it, let you guys know exactly what I think about the whole situation, and give you guys the information that I have found to help kind of let you guys make your own decision on what you guys want to do. But as always, you have to be able, like I said, you have to be able to separate what governments do from the people in those, in those countries. There are a lot of things that happen that you have no control over, and neither do they. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's something that we don't do a lot of, and there's good reason for that. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Keep it civil, for God's sakes. If I have to, I'll turn the comments off, but I don't do that very often. I have faith that you guys can keep it civil. We can keep an open dialogue and, come to a decent conclusion. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.